Hi guys, welcome to my tutorial. This is Kaitlyn Lowry. As you see to the left of your screen, it's me. I'm a secondary education major and I specialize in English. And I am currently in Block 1 of the education program at Kansas State University. Today you will be watching a video about an app that I learned about in one of my other educational classes. The app is called, Word Challenge, and in this app, you will see numerous different types of ways to help your students learn definitions of challenging words, learn synonyms for words, and everything along those lines as well. When you're done watching the video, feel free to tweet out the video or put it on Pinterest or even comment and let me know your thoughts. If you want to tweet it out, feel free to tweet at our class, which is hashtagged DED318, as you see in the bottom right-hand corner. Other than that, we'll go ahead and get started. If you look at the screen, you'll see right here a box. This box I just made larger is what the app icon looks like, and it's kind of blurry because I'm showing it to you from my desktop. But as you see here, it is just called Word Challenge. If you want to go find it, this is what the icon looks like. You might have to search a little bit deeper for it. I know when I was looking for it, it was a little bit harder to find. But it really is a lot of fun. Following downloading the app, you'll download it and you'll go to it on your own screen, and it will come up with something along the lines of this. It'll be a screen that looks kind of like this, and this is how you begin. If you want to control your volume, you simply can turn it off or turn it on over here in the corner. As you see, I just circled it with my pen. You can also talk about the music. I know some people like the music and the sounds, others don't. If you don't, go ahead and just shut those off. I like to keep mine on because I like the music. I think it helps motivate me. The next thing you'll do if you look correctly is you'll see that we are right here in the document. We're in the application, I'm sorry. And this is the starting page. You will see this every time you come into the application. And you'll see it all the time, and it'll ask you if you want to begin. When you're ready to begin, you simply just go to the begin and you click on it. Once you have clicked begin on the previous page, it'll bring you to a page that looks similar to the one that you're looking at now. It pretty much shows you the steps to what you got to do to begin to play the game. You will always start here. As you see, there's an arrow, and you can click on it. And once you click on it, you will begin. So when you're ready, you need to immediately click on this and be prepared to start the game. If you're not ready, do not click on the button. This will be what your next page in the Word Challenge app looks like. And as you see, the first section is going to be adjectives 1. This pretty much just states the kind of word challenges and the words that you're going to look at and the definitions. And once you're ready to begin, again, like I said, don't click it until you're ready. Once you're ready, it'll ask you to tap the screen. And so you simply just follow the directions and you tap the screen to move on to the next part of the game. Now this is where the fun begins. As you see, this is where the game obviously starts. You have questions that it's going to ask you. So up here in this upper corner, you're going to see the definition of the word. And you have to take this definition and you have to guess which word goes with the definition. Now, if you get it wrong, usually it's going to pop up kind of red. And you'll be able to tell if it's wrong or if it's right. If I was to do this one, I don't know what I would guess, but I'll read through it and we can do it together. Having desirable or positive qualities, especially those suitable for things specified. Now, if I was to guess desirable or positive qualities, we would pick one. And if you were to click it, If you were correct, if you were to click, for example, like, and you were correct, the light bulb would burn out and it would light up yellow, and then that one you wouldn't be able to click anymore. And up here, your score would change to a different number. Now, as you see, if we were to go off of what I clicked on the last one, which I clicked like, I would have been wrong. The real answer was good, as you see, and you can tell that the answer was good because when we switched off to the next definition, good was the light for good was burnt out, which means you can no longer choose it, and your points went up, as you see in this corner as well. And you would do the same thing over and over and over again. You would be asked another definition, preceding all others in time or space or degree, and you would see which question, or you would pick the word that goes with the statement above. Now, preceding all others in time or space would be, what do you guys think? First, last, right, only, solid, even, or null. If I was to guess, I would guess that I think that it's first. As we see as we move on to the next slide, the one that we chose previously was correct. It was first, which means that we were correct and the light bulb got what? Burnt out. Correct. So as you see, we went ahead and did a couple other ones here that are now crossed off that we didn't show in the video, just so that we would save ourselves a little bit of time on this application in the tutorial. Continuing the tutorial, we see I have another kind of image here for you guys to look at of kind of what it looks like if you get the correct answer. So if you look here on this page, we have another definition, resembling or similar. And when we were doing this for the video, we chose like for resembling or similar. As you see here, the box is highlighted in yellow when we clicked it, and if we got it correct, there is a green check mark that you see kind of right here that I'm going to highlight a little bit for you to look at. And this is kind of what it's going to look like when you get one correct. It'll show up like this, and then the light will burn out like they do in the other ones that are highlighted green on the screen. And again, your points will go up. And as your points go up, it tells you how accurate you are in completing a lot of the things that are in this video. So if you get one wrong, your score will go down. But if you get it right, your score will go up, which is important because you like to be able to see that we're going positive and you're making better attributes to going forward. Another thing that this also does for us as you use it in a classroom, or if you would like to use it in any type of classroom, English, math, I mean, it could be used for anything. Generally, I would only use it for English, is that you can see where your students are at word-wise and definition-wise. Based off the app, you can pick words that are used in this, and you can give them to your students, and this can be a review game. It would be a great thing to show your students, to teach them how to review certain words, and it's fun, and they get to use the iPad, and students always love using technology. Before we move on to the next part of this first set of adjectives one, I'd like to show you what the page is going to look like before you finish the final one. As you see, the score is here for the adjectives, and it tells you the round. It tells you the round one of two, which is what this portion of it is. We'll get on to round two in a second. And it tells you what your percentage is. The only other thing that I did not show you guys was the skip button. I don't really like to use the skip button. It is useful. You can use it with your students or with yourself if you're trying to review with yourself. If you don't know the answer and you'd like to move on to a next one, you just hit this skip button and it'll skip the question and come back to it later. You won't be docked points or any of your percentages. It'll stay the same until you actually answer the question. As you see also, before you move on to the last one, it asks you yet another question. Lacking any legal or binding force, which obviously if there's only one left, it's going to be null. And then this one will get crossed out and you'll move on to the next section. The next section is considered round two. Well, round one obviously still, but it's round two of the first set of adjectives, which is quite entertaining, as I'd like to think. It'll take the same words that you just saw on the left-hand side right here, as you see. We just saw these in our first round when we had to match them with the definitions. And then it gives you a whole nother set of words over here that can also be used in place of these words. So it not only gives you the definition and the word in the first section, but it gives you almost like a synonym in the second section, which is really good for yourself and your students to learn from as you continue to go on. So as we see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words on each side, and you have to pair them. It's like pairing them with the word that matches with that. Again, also, we will see our points up in the right-hand corner. And if you ever at any time want to quit or you're done playing the game, you can always use this back arrow up here in the corner to go back to wherever you started. If you're done or it's too hard or you need a break, it will always shoot you back to the beginning pages as well. Moving on to explaining how to do the word similar. We see here that the rules pretty much state that you find a word and you have to click the word that's similar to it. Starting here, I'll start basic, and I will say that I started with solid. As we see here up here in the right-hand corner, I decided that I was going to start with solid because it's the top left-hand corner, and I always like to start at the top and work my way down. If there's one that I don't know, I'll just skip it and move to the next one and then move myself back to it if possible. If I was to pick any word in this right-hand column to match with solid, I would guess firm. So if I was to guess firm with this, I would take my finger and I would click firm. Click in the box, click on the word, click whatever you can to make it match, and it will also highlight in yellow. As we see with the next picture that I kind of pulled up here, it'll kind of give you a little bit to look at of how it's going to look if you get the answer correct. Solid and firm were obviously correct with one another, as we see. So if we move to this page, from this page we see all the words, and if we move to this page here, if I can get it to be back large again. Okay, as we see, and we move to this page and make it bigger for you to look at, we see that we got solid and firm correct. And in this aspect, if we get solid and firm correct, obviously it's going to block them out. We're not going to be able to use them again. They are right. They are checked off. They cannot be used again. And we're going to move on to the next one, which, as we see farther down, is right. Now, if we could pick anything for right to go along with it, what would it be? So we're going to scowl down this side and see what we can find to match it. Do you guys see anything? If you do, kind of give a guess. I would pick, obviously, correct. So I would match correct with this. And from there, we would see if it's right or wrong. Looking at the page or the picture that I just pulled up to the left-hand side, we'll see that I chose right and I chose correct. And if we enhance this and make it larger for you to see, we'll see that once again, we were correct in our finding for right and correct. These answers were correct. They were checked off just like solid and firm, and they are done. They cannot be used again. And as we see, our point spread has gone up to 23%, and we have been correct. Now, depending on if you choose the right or the wrong answer when you're trying to match, this will not always go up. Sometimes it will go down if you click the wrong answer. So the portions and the percentages of your correction will definitely vary on how you choose your own answers. We will do one more example here to show you kind of how this works before summing this up. If we were to sum this up, I'm going to do one more, like I said, and I picked like and comparable as my alike terms, or as my similar terms. And I chose these two. I know I kind of skipped a few up here, and I kind of went down to like. It was the next easiest one, kind of going out of my own comfort zone here. But if I was to choose it, I would choose like and comparable. I would choose last and concluding, only and alone. I would choose good and adequate. I would choose null and void, and I would choose level and even. And then finally, I would choose beginning and first. And as you see here, I kind of made a mess of this, so we'll backtrack through this a little bit so that it doesn't look as messy for you to see, so you can just see what I would choose if I was doing this certain one myself. But for now, we'll just definitely say that we want to connect these two. Through the image that I just pulled up to the left, you'll see that I had told you previously that the ones that I kind of chose for myself, and through this image here, we'll see that most of those are correct. Except for these last ones we see first and beginning. We'll notice that obviously I got a few of them wrong because I don't have 100% on my score. But generally speaking, solid and firm. You'll see all the ones that are checked off here. You can't see which ones are attached, but naturally level and even. We have right and correct, and we have good and adequate, and we've got first and beginning, and we've got last and concluding, and so on and so forth. You can see the rest of them on your own and figure out how to go from there. So once this is all done, and once like and first and beginning are clicked through, and the final one is done, it will move on to the next round. Now, generally, instead of going all the way back through how to do this, we've already gone through the steps of how to play the game once. And as you see, after you finish the word and the similar in the word, it's going to take you right back up here to round 2. And then you're going to go through adjectives 1, round 2, starting back at 0 with a whole nother definition. And you're going to start the whole process all over again to go right back through this round. You'll match the words to the definitions, and so on and so forth. And once again, once you're done, once you've completed this, you've gone through your definition and your words, you've X'd out and blown all the bulbs on this round, and you've matched all your check marks to one another, it'll bring you back to this home screen here. And this is the same screen that we saw earlier when we were starting, and it gives you a score right here. You'll see a score for your first round for adjective 1. And then it'll slowly move you on to the next round of arrows, which gives you a whole nother category to start through, which in this case is nouns. Now, unfortunately, due to the app and obviously costs, you only have one free page. If you want a second page to the application, you actually have to pay to unlock more rounds. But you can always use this round, numerous times to move through it. It'll take you a while to get through it and to move through it and to get them correct, or even to get them done the way that you want them done. Now, if you were to use them in generalization for students, I would simply just start with one, and I wouldn't teach every single one. You wouldn't always want to use this app every time you do definitions or every time you do vocabulary, but it would be very, very helpful to maybe use it just once or twice in a classroom just for some type of review, or as an introduction for new words, or as an introduction for new words, or an introduction into words that, for poetry, when you want to use synonyms, so we're not always using the same words over again, or, just opening it up for your students to get out of their desk and get out of their desk and do something different than sitting in front of the classroom for a long period of time. There's multiple ways that you could use this application in your English classrooms, or even in different classrooms as well. But again, I really appreciate it. This was Kaitlyn, and I am with the DED class 318, and I appreciate you watching my tutorial, and I hope that you stay tuned and watch more of my tutorials for Explain Everything on applications that you could possibly use in the classroom. Thank you.